Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Hub back into the video today, and today we're going to be going over what Joe Mixon brings to the Houston Texans after the Houston Texans originally traded for Joe Mixon, giving the Bengals a 2024 7th-round pick, and now the Houston Texans have signed him to a 3-year, $27 million extension. He's a one-time Pro Bowler, and this past season was one of his best seasons since his Pro Bowl season in 2021. This past season, he played all 17 games with 17 starts, 257 carries, 1,034 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. He also had a total of 52 receptions for 376 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. So his total yards in 2023, total scrimmage yards in 2023 was 1,410, and he had a total of 12 touchdowns. Now, anybody wondering what Joe Mixon is going to do different than what Devin Singletary did last season? And here's a couple things what I think he's going to bring. I think he's going to be more efficient than Devin Singletary was. There were a lot of games where Devin Singletary was really good for the Texans, put up great numbers, and stayed consistent. But there were a couple games, and especially a couple games against good defenses, and I'm mainly leaning towards the one of the last games, the divisional round against the Baltimore Ravens. Singletary was not good, and I know it's the Ravens defense, but we need to have someone who can have a good game against a good defense and a good defensive line like the Baltimore Ravens. And Singletary was having really good games and he was having a really good season, but there were every now and then there would be games where he did struggle. He would find himself struggling against a good defense, and Joe Mixon is a little bit more consistent. He averaged 60.8 rushing yards per game, or nearly 61, and you compare that to Devin Singletary with the past season with the Texans. Singletary averaged 52.8 rushing yards per game with the Texans, and average per carry was 4.2 for Singletary, while with Joe Mixon, his average per carry for the Bengals last season, his average per carry was it was basically the same number. It was 4.3. So it was only better by 0.1. But also, I think another thing that he brings in that maybe Devin Singletary didn't is he's more of an effective, running back when it comes to the, receiving end. If the Texans, I think that's going to be something they experiment a lot throughout the season with Joe Mixon, is throwing the football to him. We saw, pretty often with Devin Singletary, that's for sure. I mean, the Texans definitely didn't mind throwing the ball to Devin Singletary. And he did a good job. But the thing is, in my opinion, I think, you're way better off with Joe Mixon throwing the ball to him. I think he has better speed, and not only that, but he's been a great receiving back in his career. But this past season with the Texans, Devin Singletary, he had 30 receptions for 193 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns, and he was targeted 39 times. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this Joe Mixon signing. The only thing there's the trade and then the extension. The only thing I'm a little alarmed about is the 3-year extension. Look, Joe Mixon is getting a little bit older now. We've seen some behavior issues in the past. I mean, he's had some incidents. I'm not worried about that, but just the length of the contract is the problem. Would be the only alarming problem for me. But at the same time, it's for a running back as good as Joe Mixon is, it's only $9 million a year, and at the same time, only $13 million is guaranteed. So not even 50% of Joe Mixon's contract is guaranteed. So this is a great sign. This is a great trade and extension for the Houston Texans, and I'm on board with it. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out. Go Texans.